Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks.
We've got it on jack stands. Just pull your drum off. Disconnect this parking brake off the bell crank here. So there's this little pin that you have to pull out, and you're just gonna pop out this metal pin here. Just shimmy this little parking brake bracket off here. It's got a little retainer clip on the inside, so make sure that stays in there. Let that hang. All right, next is this ABS sensor. It's just a 10mm bolt right here. It's got a washer on it. What I do is I take a flathead and I just gently get it right in this little nook right here. Twist the screwdriver a little bit as you pull, and that should just pop right out. Stick it off to the side on something metal. Next thing, I'm gonna crack the 4 nuts on the back of the backing plate. They're 14mm. Those right there. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a square. Those. Crack those free. I'm not gonna take them off yet. Again, those are 14mm nuts. I've got a swivel. Get those all loose. Now we're gonna take off this brake line. I'm using a 10mm flare wrench. You're just gonna be gentle, crack this free, thread it all the way out, and then I'm gonna cap this line so I don't lose a lot of fluid. I've got that line disconnected, and I believe I'm using a 3/16 vacuum cap. I'm gonna remove these 14mm nuts, the 4 of them. I'm not gonna show it, I'm just gonna spin them off by hand. But after that, this whole axle, backing plate, everything is gonna be able to just slide out, and I'll show you that. Stand it up on the studs. Give it some shimmies. Be gentle. It's gonna just sort of fall out of the differential in there. The backing plate's gonna wanna spin on you. Just try to pull it out nice and straight. Get a hand on it. Put it down. This is what I used last time, and that's how I made the little nicks on the housing. So what I'm trying this time is I've got a regular like roofing hammer, and I'm putting the rag on the belly part of the head, and I'm just getting the ends of the nail pullers here under only the metal of the seal. And I'm being really careful to just grab just the lip, the metal of the seal. I'm just bumping it with my hands, and out comes the seal, just like that. So if you're in a pinch, you could try that. Just be really careful. You can wrap the ends with tape, but there's the seal. You can use like a slide hammer puller, that'll work. If I were to do it all again, I wouldn't necessarily use this. Honestly, the hammer worked better. I do have a loaner seal driving kit. I'll put links down below for all the tools and everything that you need. I think I'm actually gonna go with the Timken, so don't hang me for this. I'm a proponent of OEM. Here's the part number. I'm gonna give this a shot, and hopefully these subtle differences actually work in my favor and I can stop this leak. I'll put links for the Timken and the OEM parts down below. Try to get it as straight as I can. Try not to put too much pressure on that rubber seal because it has that spring that's hugging it. All right, I'm gonna get my seal driver, and I'm gonna start gently just to make sure it's centered. Driver as centered as possible. Start making its way in. Just keep checking to see where you need to tap. Like I need to tap on the sort of on the top more. I'm gonna switch to a heavier hammer. I think I have just a little more up at the top. You don't want to overdo it, but you got to get this thing nice and straight. All right, so I'm gonna roll with that.
At least with this loaner tool, the majority of the driving, I used the 2.830 with the wider side facing away from me, and that was the closest diameter to the diameter of the seal. Up until the seal was pretty much all the way in, I needed to do a little seating up at the top, and so then this was then too big to get past the bevel, and so I had to flip this around, and then just be careful because then you might start pushing in the walls, the metal walls of the seal, if you need to sort of isolate one spot to seat it. Kind of tricky, but you want to get it fully seated in like the least amount of banging that you can. Tricky job. I'm not claiming to be pro at this job, and so don't hang me if something happens. I'm so hot and sweaty. I'd like to just take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Just kidding, nobody. It's just me in the garage, so subscribe.
I'm gonna reinstall now. Don't forget your O-ring that goes over this part of the flange here. All right, I'm gonna torque those four 14mm nuts on the back of the backing plate to 48 foot-pounds. 1, 2, 3. I just used a wrench for that last one. I couldn't get on it. We're gonna do everything in reverse. So do your parking brake, take the retaining clip out, that little clip, put it over the hole, put your little pronged piece over the hole, and then your pin goes down. Don't forget your little cotter pin. Stick the straight part of it in first. ABS sensor, just clean it off again. Push it back into the hole, wipe off the magnet, clean it up, dry it off, and then it's just that 10mm. Tighten it till it fully seats, till it overcomes its O-ring. Your bolt will do the rest of the work, pushing it through. Line up your hole first, don't cross thread it. As you tighten, it'll push it past that O-ring. Just good and tight. Reattach your brake line. So I'm not gonna show it, but I'm gonna pull the cap off, put the brake line in, make sure it's seated perfectly straight, 10mm, and then you're good to go on the brake until you bleed it.
It does kind of suck, but you have to bleed your brake. So I'm going to do the self-bleed because I'm alone. So I have my humble prune juice bottle with my tube going into it. I've got a zip tie above and below the cap. And then I drilled a little hole to let off the pressure. But this is 3/16 inner diameter vinyl tubing. Don't get polypropylene because it's not flexible enough. This is just clear vinyl. First you fill up the bottle with brake fluid so that the dip tube is submerged. Put the other end on the bleeder nipple, crack it. It's a 10mm, I believe. You can use a flare wrench if you want. And then you're gonna self-pump until all the air bubbles are gone. I could probably just get away with bleeding the one wheel, but I'm just gonna do all 4 wheels just to be safe. So I'm gonna start with the furthest wheel away, the rear passenger, and then go to the rear driver, and then the front passenger, then the front driver. And you keep adding fluid in the reservoir as you pump it out. I'm not gonna show it. Let me know if you want me to do a video on bleeding, but that pretty much covers it. It's really easy. Just make one of these jigs and you can do it by yourself. That's the general procedure for changing your axle seals.
Leave a like, leave a comment. I try to answer every comment and question. I'm so hot and sweaty, but please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. See ya.